We all know that triads are one of the most important guitar concepts to get into your brain and under your fingers, but did you know that there are two patterns hidden in plain sight that allow us to play any chord in any key in just a few frets on the guitar neck without jumping all over the place? Discovering this changed both my lead and rhythm playing instantly. More importantly, it allowed me to understand how the guitar neck works like never before. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how to use these two patterns to find all 7 triads in any key in just a few frets. And we'll do it staying on the same 3 strings and moving across all 6. Stick around to the end because I'm going to show you some easy but awesome sounding ways to embellish these triads that you can work into your playing right away. This is going to make a massive difference in how you play and how you see the guitar neck. So let's get into it. Okay, so you can get the most out of this lesson. Let's review some triad shapes on the top 3 strings, G, B, and E. I want us to be speaking the same language when we start playing. We're going to be playing in the key of A major, and let's have a look at shapes for major, minor, and diminished triads for each inversion. And don't let that word scare you because I'm going to lay it all out for you here. Let's start with what we call the root position, and that's where we have the root note on the bottom of the triad, and in this case, that's on the G string. Okay, so here's the root shape of A major. You'll see that I'm playing the root, the 3rd and the 5th at frets 14, 14, and 12. Those notes are A, C sharp, and E. And if we want to make that root triad minor, we've got to flatten the 3rd or C sharp to C natural. Now we're playing A, C, and E. That's the minor fall and the major lift, as the song goes. Now the 3rd type of triad in a major key is a diminished triad, and to get A diminished from A minor, we flatten the 5th or E to E flat. So now we're playing 14, 13, 11 with the notes A, C, and E flat. So those are the 3 types of triads in a major key: major, minor, diminished. Hope you're with me so far because we're moving on to the first inversion. All that means is we're going to start on the 3rd instead of the root, and we're going to play the 3rd, the 5th, and the root. So just flip-flopping the order here. So we're going down to the 5th position, and for A major we have this familiar looking shape. C sharp or the major 3rd at fret 6, E or the 5th at fret 5, and A or the root at fret 5 also, and that's moving from the G string to the high E. We get the A minor shape by flattening that 3rd, so now we're playing the 5th fret on all 3 strings, minor 3rd, 5th, and root. Lastly, we take that minor shape and we flatten the 5th to get diminished, so now we've got C, E flat, and A on frets 5, 4, and 5. Pretty easy, right? Lastly, we've got second inversion shapes, and what that means is we're going to start on the 5th and play the 5th, the root, and then the 3rd. At the 9th position, we've got this recognizable shape for A major. We've got E at fret 9, A at fret 10, C sharp at fret 9, and that's on the G, B, and E strings. And for A minor, we're going to drop that C sharp on the high E down to C. And lastly, for C diminished, we're going to drop the E on the G string down to E flat. So now we've got this shape. Okay, so now we've got shapes for each type of triads in a major key in all 3 inversions. Now, typically, I see students being told to practice by moving these shapes through the key, moving horizontally up the guitar neck like this. And that's important for understanding the chords in a key, and it gives you an idea where guitar licks like this come from. But that's not always practical for lead and especially rhythm playing because you're changing registers so drastically. Going from fairly low notes to notes so high up on the neck, it's not going to sound quite right. So here's the first sort of secret relationship or pattern, and it really did blow my mind when I figured this out. We can start on any one of our A major inversions and play through the triads of the entire key, moving up or down only a fret or 2. The trick is we're going to mix up the inversions so that we can play in the smallest space possible on the neck. Check this out. It's going to make you understand how closely related all these chords are, and it's going to help you understand the neck like never before. We're going to start off with the first inversion of A major here at the 5th position. And at the 7th position, we've got the first inversion of B minor. Next, we need C sharp minor, and we've got the root form at the 4th position. For D major, we just have to move back to the 5th position. We've got another root form. If we go to the 4th position again, we've got the second inversion of E major. And moving to the 5th position again, we've got the second inversion of F sharp minor. Going back to the 4th position, one last time, we're going to get the first inversion of G sharp diminished. And that brings us back to A major. As you get used to playing these triads, I hope one thing in particular is making a huge impact on you, and that's how little you have to move your fingers to play them all and how closely related they are. This is the sort of realization that totally unlocks the guitar neck. Starting with A major, I can change just one note moving from E to F sharp to get F sharp minor. Then I can change just one note moving from C sharp to D, and I get D major. Then move from A to B on the high E string, and we've got B minor. That's just a very graphic way of seeing and hearing how harmony works. Let's move up to the A major second inversion at that 9th position. Here's our A major shape, and we can move up to the 10th position for B minor second inversion. Back to the 9th position, we've got C minor in first inversion. Back to the 10th position for D major in first inversion. We're going to drop down to the 7th position for E major in the root form. And move up to the 9th position, and we've got F sharp minor in root form. Lastly, we're going to drop back to the 7th position for a second inversion G sharp diminished. And that brings us back to A major. Okay, now we're getting good at this, right? Let's go through the cycle one more time, starting with the A major root form at the 12th position. And then I'm going to give you a great idea of how to practice this. From the A major root form, we can go to the 14th position to play the root form of B minor. Back at the 12th position, we can play C sharp minor second inversion. At the 14th position again, we've got D major second inversion. Back to the 12th position for E major first inversion. To the 14th position for F sharp minor second inversion. Then to the 10th position for G sharp diminished. And then we'd be back to A major. Cool. Now that's a lot of shapes. So start off slow, get the shapes under your fingers, but then we got to learn to play them back to back, and the best way to ingrain that skill is always playing along with a beat. So I'm going to play along with a little backing track I put together, and we're going to play through all the triads in a key. I'm going to arpeggiate them or play them one note at a time like this. Let's give this a try. We're going to start off with A major, first inversion down at the 5th position. Okay, now let's go up to the 9th position and start off with A major, second inversion. Excellent. Now let's go up to the 12th position, starting with that A major root form. Here we go. Great job, and we'll come back to those shapes because I want to show you a trick for embellishing them that works for both lead and rhythm playing. But I promised you a second hidden pattern, and this one works for playing triad shapes across all 6 strings. We're going to play a shape today where we play one note per string, and we're going to play the root note on the lowest of the 3 strings. We play that root note with either our pinky or our ring finger. Let's take a look at some of these shapes and get this going. For triads with the root note on the E or A strings, here's the major shape. This is A major, starting with A on the low E, and the notes are A, C sharp, and E. Now to get minor, as you know, we flatten the 3rd to C, so now we have A, C, and E. To get diminished, we need to flatten the 5th to E flat, so here's what that looks like. So the trick for this pattern is to play 3 arpeggios per string set. With roots on the low E, we would have A major, B minor, and C sharp minor. Moving to roots on the A string, we've got D major, E major, and F sharp minor. Now we shift to the D string roots, and the shapes are going to change slightly because of the B string tuning, so watch the diagrams closely. With D string roots, we get this shape for G sharp diminished, A major, B minor, and lastly, we're going to play shapes with roots on the G string, and the shapes change again because of that B string tuning. Here's C sharp minor, D major, and E major. And those shapes are going to look familiar because we just did all of that playing on the G, B, and E strings in the first part of the video. So what have we done here? Our first hidden pattern showed us how to mix up triad inversions so that we could play through all the triads in a key in a very small space on the neck. We basically played the triads in pairs that were only a fret or 2 apart, and we were staying on the same strings. This new pattern allows us to use one inversion and play through the entire key, moving across the strings, playing 3 triads per string set. Now in the example, we just used the root form, but it works for all 3 inversions. We just don't have time to get into it today. Remember, I promised you I'd show you some tricks to embellish the triads, so now we're going to shift gears and I'm going to show you how to make the triads sound more musical. To spice the triads up, we're going to do some hammer-ons to notes that give triads a suspended sound. I know you're all familiar with the sound of sus2 and sus4 chords. You've heard Jimi Hendrix and John Mayer do things like this. Well, here's how you get those sounds. Let's start with the A major first inversion voicing at the 5th position on the G, B, and E strings. And for this exercise, we are going to move the shapes horizontally up the neck. And you know that with the first inversion, we start on the 3rd interval, and we're going to spice up each triad by adding in the 4th. Now watch the diagrams to see which note to add and play along with me here. Here's A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, back to A major. You've all heard that sound, right? Okay, so let's use the same inversion, which has the root note on the high E string. And that's going to give us the ability to easily add the 2nd or the 9th, if you want to think of it like that, on the top string. This is how A major sounds. And now let's take it all the way through the key. Here's A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, back to A. And lastly, we're also going to use the 6th of each triad going to the 5th. While technically that's not suspended, it still gives us that flavor. And to get that Hendrix thing going, we're going to ascend through the triad, do a hammer-on and pull-off on the 9th to the root, and then a pull-off from the 6th to the 5th, but play a double stop by including the root on the high E, and then another pull-off from the 4th to the 3rd, playing another double stop by including the 5th on the B string. Moving through the key, here's what that would sound like. Okay, there's our triad workout, and I hope you got a lot out of this video. We went through a lot of stuff. Staying in one general area and mixing up the inversions, moving all the way across the neck vertically, and then our Hendrix-y embellishments that we can use for both lead and rhythm guitar. I really appreciate you taking time to watch, and if you want to do an even deeper dive into triads, check out this video where we go through 7 levels of understanding triads from beginner to pro. Thanks again. I'll be seeing you soon.